I want to first set the stage for this demo. Now, in an active learning space, you have students that sit at each of the tables working as colleagues, and their goal of the active learning environment is for them to be highly engaged as a team to solve problems that are guided by the instructor or the guide in the lecture. We've got 6 student tables. Now, we're all on a wall here, but typically those would be at an independent table. And we've got a front of room display that's optional. We're going to show you that as well. I'm going to show you the design stage for starters. I've got an iPad app here that's already downloaded the active learning application. And my role has already been set up, so I'm a facilities manager, and I can go in and edit room. See, I have all the different team tables and a primary display. I can position where they are. And if we wanted to, say, for example, put a table with this team here, I could just drag it into the space. If I want to add a door to the room, that's usually used to navigate the space, I can drop one in here, scale it up. Let's say the door is at this corner, and I'll hit save. So that's the designing process. It takes really what was custom programming and turns it into just an interactive process to design your spaces. Let's take a look at how it actually works. So I'm going to ask Jen, who's off screen, to go ahead and put some content on some of these team tables so we can look at what's happening. So let's say we're in a marketing class. We're looking at a marketing launch for a new car design. And each team is already working. So we've got a Solstice pod connected to each screen. Those students are using the Solstice application to share content to those tables, and they're working together. So now if I come in as the faculty member and I want to manage this space, I can come into the room. This is the active learning room here, and I'll click that. You can see my layout. For example, say, you know what, team 1, you guys are really doing a great job. Let's look at that on all screens. All I have to do is press and hold, and it will broadcast that content to every display in the space. So now you can see that every table now gets to see the marketing video from team 1, the yellow team, and we've augmented the experience by showing the students sitting at this table that that's shared from the yellow team, and you're being reminded, if you're the yellow team, that you're sharing content to the other tables. I can reset those just by hitting the reset button, and the students then could go back to what they were working on, like the red team maybe is looking at a still image they're going to put in their video later. Okay, I can also do many to one on the primary screen. Now, I mentioned this idea of being able to do comparative analysis. So if I've got, I want to look at, this is a very different design aesthetic than, say, that live video. All I have to do is drag this interactively. Let me get close so you can take a look at that. Drag it and drop that video to that screen. And now I've got 2 things on the display together. In my application, it's shown that those are routes that I'm now routing video. And if I actually want to, I can interact with that content at the primary display because it's touch enabled. So if I move that content, for example, over to this side, I can do that just like I could always with Solstice. Maybe I dock that and we look at just table 1. So this is a full matrix switch. Now that's some AV language there, but what that means is that I'm able to show content simply by just dragging and dropping regardless of where I did it. So if I wanted the purple team to go here, I drag purple to red. If I want to show the green team on the orange team, I do that. So a use case there would be like, hey, juniors, let's go ahead and show what you're doing to the senior teams and get commentary. And then I could drag content anywhere I want in the room because the Solstice pod has become basically an AV over IP encode decode engine with this software update. And you use this application for control. Okay, so pretty amazing. I'm going to go ahead and show primary to all. So Jen, maybe if you put some PowerPoint on the primary display, this use case is obvious. It's the presentation session that usually happens at the beginning of an active learning room. And if I want to show, take the students through my presentation to set up the problem set, I broadcast that. Maybe they're already working. That's okay. I just press and hold. And now I'm broadcasting PowerPoint across all spaces. So what else can you do? Well, what's really nice is we've got the ability to even ink on the primary display because I'm broadcasting that. And if I want to do that, I can mouse down and point to emphasize with the Solstice Ink application. If I wanted to say, this is the circle that we should focus on, and make sure in your videos you don't do something like that. Everybody can see that across all tables. Okay, so pretty impressive. It's basically the Solstice experience being transported on demand using the application. We found there was a compelling problem we had to solve, and that's the ability to message to tables from the application. So an example would be, hey, everybody has the problem set up wrong. You need to stop working and look eyes up front. Well, the solution for that's quite easy. You'll notice at the bottom of the application, we've added shortcuts to do that. For example, if I tap the eyes up front button, all teams now pause, their content fades in the background, and they can get back to work when I toggle it off. We found that that's such a valuable tool that you can now add your own custom messages, pick an icon, type a custom message, add it to your system tray as a user. So what have we really seen? We've seen an AV over IP experience that's driven by Solstice software, dramatically reduces the complexity, the design build issues, the cost for active learning. What I'm hoping happens now is it really breaks open the doors to deploying these things wide so that we have a better teaching and learning experience.